Welcome everybody to the Nurburgring Racing League, it's the GT3 Championship, Sprint Championship. We're here on season 10, round 1 at the Nurburgring, and the WEC combination, which is a different track layout than the normal GP. Should be an interesting one. I think the biggest thing I could say right now is the most exciting thing is that there are 60 drivers on the grid. A maxed out capacity with a few drivers that weren't able to get into the lobby in time to register. Because we are full. Over full. And we got 18 minutes, 32 seconds on the clock for practice to end. I just wanted to show you a little bit of it. It is absolutely insanity with what's going on. First of all, let's just get straight to the results. There are 60 drivers on the grid, entry lists from all over. We got people from Australia, Asia, the Atlantic. I don't even know where that's really at. I mean, isn't that just the East Coast? But then you got, Mid-South, Georgia, Mid-South again, Pennsylvania. I mean, who wants to live in Pennsylvania? But the UK and I guess that's Ireland, but you'd think they'd want to separate that one. Big grid from all parts of America, all parts of the world. Steve McAllister out there for his team. Caffeine Global Motorsports with Craig Carroll. Both drivers were able to enter in this list. Another big factor here is we got 20 teams on the grid. I'm not sure if everyone made it in, but that's 20 teams. What an endeavor this is going to be for myself, for everyone else involved. Some additions to the relative. As you can see, the pit window was added for the time it takes that they were in the pit lane, if they're currently in the pit lane, if they're on their out lap, and if nothing shows up, then they're straight on a flyer on a regular lap. That'll be an addition not only in practice and qualifying, so you're going to see who's actually on their out laps, but in the race when it comes down to the pit strategy, it's just gonna show that last pit stop. So we'll see if anyone had a bad pit. Some good additions there, as you can see the relative off to the before the manufacturer in the car. Going over the results so far, it's a little interesting. With 60 drivers on the grid, I think you need to talk about the best team, that is Jeff and Austin. Jeff and Austin. Oh, yes. This one is going to be rough. Let me just click this real quick. I don't even know if I have the ability. Is Jeff even in the lobby? Jeff. I know Austin didn't make it in, and unfortunate for him. That's such. Oh, Jeff is in the lobby. He is in the pit lane. And there he's was on screen. Well, we can't get him right now. That's odd. But yeah, their team name, Justin Koffold and Austin McGill, make Justin Scott an admin to run an oval league to cause total chaos. I think there was something else on the end of that one, but I can't mess with it on my tablet. I'll fix that for next time. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce the full name of that one. Mark Foley, the man responsible for pretty much gifting us this massive race. 60 drivers plus more that did want to race that are not applicable. I know at least 4 that had vocalized that they didn't want to, that weren't able to enter in due to the cutoff. We're going to start off at the top. Chris Chitterling. Look at him. He's got a 154.6. JD Daniel is just behind him with Christopher Daniel. No relation. Sister teammates there. Brother teammates. Anyway, with the 154, there's only a few drivers that are hitting the 154s, and that goes down to P7. After that, you got Eric Palacio in P8. Then Peter Flanner behind Trey Mistack. And Trey Mistack, the Season 9 champion, the winner of the Drivers' Championship, is sitting in P10 with a 155. His difference gap to P1 is about half a second. I mean, it's not that crazy. Well, maybe we'll see something happen in the race. He is one of our, if not the fastest driver. I know Jacob Simmons might have something to say about that. But here he is in P10. So from P8 on the way down to P24. And that's an addition that maybe we'll get to see. There we go. Chris Lambeth. And I'll zoom in on this one. Chris Lambeth and Jacob Simmons, the team champions in Season 9 over the Draft Punk Racing team. Chris, his teammate, Jacob Simmons, P2 in the, or P2 or 3 in the championship. I'm not actually sure. I don't think they finalized that one. But this team is a special team. The one-time world champion Bush's Baked Beans with Lambdoc Duke Memorial Race Team, presented by one-time world champion Bush's Baked Beans with Lambdoc Duke Memorial Race Team. Now, if you think that's a mouthful, it's because it is. You got to give them the beans, and they are going full beans this season. So everybody be on the lookout for these menaces and that monstrosity of a livery that is somehow allowed in this league. And then going on further down the order from P24 or P25. So P24 is the cutoff for the 155s. Charles Whedon, who may or may not be on the grid, there he is. He's in P25 now with a 156 even. Down with the 156 all the way from P25, P26, now P25 still. Because AJ Condola just put in a faster lap than Charles Whedon. P25 all the way down to, man, where is this? To 44. We got Kyle Howell in 44th position, and he's in a 156 on the end run, and that is a massive. That's not a huge gap, folks. We're seeing 154s to 156, 2 seconds off the pace, maybe even 3 seconds off the pace. We're going to Eric Stamp at 45, and he starts the grouping there in the 157s all the way down to P50, which is Joseph Kennedy, and then after that, the times fall off a little bit, but not by much. Everyone in the 51 all the way down to 60 is still going to have a good lap. Whether or not that's going to be on pace for the race, I guess we'll get to see. But there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that little rundown of what's happening in practice, what we can kind of discern from the quality of racing we're going to get in this race. It's going to be something else, I'll tell you that. It's almost like I should expand this scoreboard beyond 15 positions, because, man, that is a lot of cycling that it's going to go through. If at any point in the race, any of you want to know specifically where someone's at in position, I could definitely, make accommodations to let you know. And going through some of the order here, where is... Here we go. Cooper McCoy. Cooper McCoy is on a team with Tyler Anderson, Incident Crapshoot Joint Racing Adventure. JD Daniel now just setting the fastest lap with a 154.6, overtaking Chris Chitterling by merely 0.003 of a second there. That's quite the margins that we're finding people in. Trey Mistack still in P10. Just a reminder, he was the winner for last season, so hopefully we can see him sport a better time on the board. Open qualifying is also going to be a big factor here. I'm quite curious to see how some of these drivers are going to tackle it. That's 60 drivers on a grid, and you can see the map. It is going to be condensed This is a pretty quick track. I mean, especially through the Schumacher S's. I just don't know how some people are going to fare. I feel like there's going to be a little bit of bad luck for the drivers that think they're going to go out right away and get caught up in some traffic. Another addition to this grouping, Alex Authen is in the Pax Oceani green team. As you can see, he's green with Alan Paris. They're sister teammates of John Javecki and Christopher Daniel are the Pax Oceani purple. So now we get a little bit of difference here. And I'm sure we can actually also see JD Daniels out there. And he's leading the scoreboard right now in P1. And he's part of the Pax Oceani blue team with Matthew Baldwin. No relation to the Baldwins on that front. I haven't confirmed that, but I would assume that's no relation. We got 8 minutes, 14 seconds left on the clock before we get into qualifying, folks. I'm kind of excited about this. 60 drivers. What can happen? What chaos can happen? What can unfold? I mean, JD Daniel really sporting a really quick lap. Is Chris Chilling going to actually, come back at that? I'm not sure. It looks like Elliot Burton is doing just fine in P5. Jacob Simmons in 7. And 8. Trey Mistak. I said he was P10. He went down to P6. So he's sporting a quicker lap. He did a 154.8. His gap to the leader was half a second. Now it's 0.236. So he has gotten faster. And he has a really cool livery. Let's see if there's and there are a lot of drivers on this grid. I'm going to go with Jesse Canales, new driver entering the grid here. They are in a anime livery, and he doesn't lift. I wonder if he touches grass either, but what's that? All right, Dean Tilts. Looks like he's from Indiana, maybe. Who knows? New addition to the group here. We have John Katsuka, also a new addition. I think there's this other driver, Aaron. I'm going to pronounce this right. Aaron Siciliano, who is in Thailand right now, I believe, is what he said. So that's awesome for him. Woke up early for this race. And there's Tyler Anderson, the teammate to Cooper McCoy in the Incident Crapshoot joint racing venture. And you know what? I'm gonna just pull this away for a second. We got 5 minutes, 55 seconds left. Just gonna go over to the results here so you can see. Henry Ferguson's new. Adam Morris is new. Welcome to the Broken Wing Racing League guys, gals as well, if there's any of those. We go over to, what is that? Jaming Zen is also new. And a fun fact is he's a ski racer IRL with a BIB number 193. I don't know what the BIB means, but that must be impressive if he's pulling that off here and telling us about that. Eddie A. Smith. I believe I've seen the name before, but if he isn't, welcome to the team. Eric Nesbitt, definitely a new driver to the group here. Tyler Rice, also new to the grid. Welcome in. John Joseph Kennedy, I think, attended a couple races before. Richard Sedfra is not new at all. Blake Patterson, new addition to the team, to the grid here. We have Logan Brakey, who's had a couple races before. Michael Kostek is also a new addition. Darren Hahn is not new. Stephen Sloan is definitely new. And Andrew I guess I've been saying his name wrong this entire time. It's Andrew Korostecki. Like Seth. Korostecki. I think I was saying it right this entire time. I don't know why he added his pronunciation to this board. It actually confused me. I felt like I was saying Andrew Korostecki correctly. His fun fact is he is an altered state enthusiast. I'll let you guys be the judge of what that means there. And he's also mentioned on Wikipedia. And Cooper McCoy, the a shoe size that's 10.5. Jeez, that's something else. A Cooper is a barrel maker. That's his fun fact. I don't know what that has to do with anything. But yeah, there's his thing. Matthew Matthias, he's a licensed attorney. So, you know, you get in an accident, maybe this guy will help you out. Some legal advice. I didn't know about that's actually a really cool fun fact. Get to learn that about someone. So we got an attorney behind the wheel here. We'll go on a roll bar and see how he's going in this Apex. Barely good at hugging it. We're on a little wide on the exit. This is the Schumacher S's. Let's see if he's gonna pull this in nice and tight. Ooh. And I don't know if that's the end of it. There are so many people, I just can't even tell. Landon Loy, this driver's definitely new. Who am I going to curse tonight? I think I'm going to curse Trey Mistak. He's sitting P7 right now with a 154.888. He's now 4/10 off the leader. I'll be interested to see what happens there in qualifying, as we have 2 minutes left to go. This is my Joseph. Oh, first race actually. Joseph Kennedy. Oh, I thought you were in the last race. I'm sorry about that. So Joseph Kennedy's first race with us. He has no fun facts to share on this board. I was trying to find. There's Chris Schitterling here. He's still on the. It's actually P3. He was provisional pole, but he's lost that. He's still putting in some hot laps. Chris Schitterling's fun fact is he eats apples with 2 hands. Now, I'm not saying he's a monster, but that's pretty weird. 2 hands on 1 apple. I got no response in the chat on that one, and that was unfortunate. We should investigate this further. 2 hands. That's like eating I don't know, like a kiwi with both hands. Like, it's just like you have the 1 hand. Why do you need this? What's the second hand really doing? It's like holding a microphone with 2 hands. I won't judge him further. Jacob Simmons, I mean, because this grid is so massive, people are sharing grid spots, it looks like. Well, now I have to go somebody else. And Mark Foley with that, it's like a retro, it's definitely a retro livery there. And we have 2 drivers that have not set a time on the board. We have, practice is ending, so I guess we won't get to see that, but maybe they just didn't really feel like they needed to put in the laps. I guess we'll get to see where Craig Carroll and Nicholas DeVille end up in the stacked order here for the race. 60 drivers on this grid. It's just going to be quite the nightmare of a open quali, but they're going to give it a go. So we're going to have drivers already heading out. Peter Flanner is the first one. Definitely pay attention to the relative on the out. Everyone is on their out lap. That will show if they go into the pits. Be definitely more useful to see that when we get to the race. Joshua Grosso also just neatly behind Peter Flanner, who is in another season of Draft Punk Racing with a teammate of Elliot Burton. There's no change up in the order. I think they must really enjoy each other's company. And the driver behind, Joshua Grosso of Narwhal Racing Team, I don't think his teammate is Noah Hoskinson, who I don't believe they have been not teammates for quite some time, at least a couple seasons, if not more. I remember I left on vacation and came back, and they're still teammates, and he's just locked onto the rear there, only 3/10 off. That's going to be quite the interesting start to a hot lap when they go for it. Yeah, Noah Hodgkinson, one of the owners of the Broken Ring Racing League. His fun fact is, and claim to fame, is being the middle school soccer captain. And second fun fact is in the enjoyer of Morad gloves. Morad, that guy that sometimes races. I think he's just a Twitch streamer at this point. So we'll go on board with Peter Flanner, who's the first driver to start a hot lap here. Flyer, as it is. We'll see what he can produce. We know he's in the top 10. He's got the pace for that. He's got the speed. He did a 154. There was only a few drivers that were able to accomplish that feat. Up to 8 people is what I got it down to. So 2 of the top 10 drivers were on the low end of the 155s, barely cusping that spot. And then it just shifts dramatically. P9 all the way down to P25. It's going to be 155s. Everyone separated by a second. Within that second, 156s, it's the same thing. You go from P26 all the way down to the 44s, 45. And that's going to be same thing. Everyone in the 156s sporting within that second. And then it kind of drifts slightly out from the 157s onward, but not by much. He's picked that up nice and tidy. And so far, he's predicted to do 154. And I wouldn't commentate it, Chris, on that one. And through the penultimate corner, what can he put on the board? We'll see a shakeup in the on the leaderboard in a few seconds here, but by how much? Joshua Grosso going faster than Peter Flanner. They did 155s, 3/10 separated. I think the toe might have been a little useful there for him. No change in the order. We'll go to JD Daniel, who has not set a time on the board. And maybe John Javecki is the driver that can do it. He's on he's on his in lap here. What is he gonna do? Ooh, as we see Henry Ferguson go off onto the side there. John Javecki was, I think, in the top 10, top 15. So Joshua Grosso still has not been toppled on his time. Elliot Burton is in second, Peter Flanner in third, Aaron Siciliano in fourth, Matthew Mathias in fifth, Dean Diltz in sixth, Tyler Anderson 7, Alex Authen all in the 155s, mind you. So P1 to P8 is in 155s. Mark Foley in P9 with a 156. So we're not seeing those 154 times just yet. Maybe that's going to be another couple to go as that driver just appears onto the screen. Where does this driver go of John Javecki? He goes to P6 with a 155.7. Where are some drivers that we haven't seen yet? JD Daniel just went through the bus stop. No, not bus stop. JD Daniel goes fastest with a 154.5. Now that's the time to beat. Now where is Trey Mistack? I don't even see him. Here's Alan Paris, the Pax Oceani Green. He's a quick driver. We should see something out of him. Trey Mistack is not actually on the board. I'll briefly go over. And he has not gone out. He is in the pits. That is odd, to say the least. Going over to Christopher Daniel, who's set in P43 at the moment with no time on the board. But this is the kind of driver who's going to make something happen. Looks like Chris Chittering is just right ahead of him. That is actually surprising. I hope that's just a glitch. Trey Mistack is not on the grid. We got 2 minutes 50 seconds. I don't think he's gonna make it. Maybe there's a technical difficulty. No real shakeup has happened in the top 10, top 15. As you can see, JD Daniel still holding that fastest time. Joshua Grosso has not improved on his lap. Chris Chitterling is staying pretty even. I think he's actually... He looks to be about on his same pace. Not sure if that's going to be an issue for him. He lets Christopher Daniel by him. So he must be just trying to start a flyer right now. And I mean, Christopher Daniel, well, this... Oh. And there it is. P2 for Christopher Daniel with a 155.000. Wow, that's quite the massive difference. We have drivers up into P46 still out there that have claimed a spot. Jacob Simmons, a driver who has not set a time on the board yet. This has got to be crunch time for him. As drivers have pulled off to let people by. Hopefully this is the lap that he's looking for and it can put him into a good spot. But you don't want to be fighting through the field in whatever they assign you because you didn't put a time on the board. Albeit, you know, track limits or otherwise. Hopefully this is the time for him. He's still got enough time to run one more if he doesn't quit here, but it looks like he's gonna take a spot into P8. He goes. Jordan Groves, he is part of the Pax Oceani. Huh. That's odd. Well, he's sporting a Pax Oceani purple. well, everybody's not John Javecki or Christopher Daniels' teammate, so maybe they're trying to field another team, sister team, to really put the Pax Oceani dominance out there on the grid. As Christopher Daniel goes through and takes P2 away from Jordan Groves there. JD Daniels still uncontested there with that 154.5. Maybe Elliot Burton can do something here. He is P5. And still can't see it, but is Trey Mistak? No, Trey Mistak has still not. Trey Mistak, Eric Palacio, Nicholas DeVille, and Eric Nesbitt have not set any laps on the board. Tyler Rice as well. Jeff Lubish did, but none of them. And same with what's that? Jamie Sen. It's also Jeff Lubish and Jamie Sen have set laps, but none of them have been counted. So this is odd. Trey Misek, no time on the board. The winner last season, maybe trying to make it hard for himself and go for that last to first. A 60-car grid is going to be very difficult to make that happen. I'll say that. And maybe my commentator's curse actually was working in effect. Something must have happened because he is no longer... He has not participated in qualifying. And with just 20 seconds left, I'm going to go through the order here, folks. Oh, I have to actually wait for this one. Nope, I don't. JD Daniel in P1, Christopher Daniel in P2, Jordan Groves in 3, Jacob Simmons in 4, Joshua Grosso in 5, Elliot Burton in 6, Chris Shirley in 7, Alan Paris in 8, John Javecki in 9, Brian Berthuum in 10, Peter Flander in 11, Alex Authen in 12, Landon Loy in 13, Tyler Anderson in 14, Aaron Siciliano in 15, Dylan Maroney in 16, Michael Mathias in 17, Jason Lee in 18, Jeff Koffield in 19, John Katsuka in 20, Dean Diltz at 21, Mark Foley 22. Oh man, I just missed that one. 1 second, folks. Andrew Korstecki in 23, Noah Hoskins in 24, Matthew Weber in 25, Zaid Khan in 26, Ethan Orr in 27, Charles Wade in 28, Jesse Canals in 29, Chris Lambeth in 30, Tyler Kern in 31, Eric Koonsman in 32, Rodrigo Theory in 33, Logan Brakely in 34, AJ Condola in 35, Eddie Smith in 36, Garen Hahn in 37, Cooper McCoy in 38, Eric Rodriguez 39, Michael Kostak in 40, Steven Sloan in 41, Matthew Baldwin in 42, Eric Stamp in 43, Richard Seifer in 44, Craig Carroll in 45, Bryce Bromback in 46, Blake Patterson in 47, Joseph Kennedy in 48, Kyle Howe in 49, Steve McAllister in 50, Adam Morris in 51, Michael Shins in 52, Henry Ferguson in 53, Eric Palacio in 54, Trey Misek 55, and Jeff Lubis in 56. Tyler Rice in 57, Jameen Jen in 58, Eric Nesbitt in 59, and Nicholas DeVille in 60. Holy, that is so many drivers. The max amount of drivers you can have in a racing session there might be some carnage. I mean, there probably will be some carnage. As the Pax Oceani blue and purple, and Jordan Groves, who is purple but not part of either team, of either of the three teams. He also joins the top two rows there. And pacing is over. Safety cars coming in. Ooh, this is gonna be a long snake of cars here. And we go racing as we are about to see 3 wide through the first corner. And Jordan Groves possibly trying to overtake. Nope, defending on the inside line to Jacob Simmons. And JD Daniel gets cleanly away with Christopher Daniel just behind. Also Jordan Groves. And then Jacob Simmons, who's really holding it together. Alan Paris, as you can see in that Pax Oceani green, he's up 3 positions, battling it out with Elliott Burton. And I think he has this down. And he does. Cleanly, he's got that down. He's also have to worry about Joshua Grosso, who's behind, and Alex Authen, who goes down a little brave on the inside line to Joshua Grosso. But Joshua Grosso holding it together. He keeps it together. He stays in P7, down 2 positions at the start of this race. Christopher Chittling is right behind. And Alex Authen making up a brilliant start here. 4 positions gained. Chris Chittling down 2. Just behind is Brian Berthium. And that's how he told me to say it, Berthium. Elliott Burton have a go at Alan Paris. They were pretty close to a couple of those corners. And if you're wondering if anything happened off the start of this race, there's a number of incidences. One crash. I guess that comes as no surprise. Ooh. And we have two drivers of Alan Paris and Alex Authen in the Pax Oceani green going into the pit lane. What is that? Now we have Aaron Siciliano up 1 position. He's in P14 at the moment. He's battling it out there with ooh. And we can see an incident of Andrew Korostecki. He has crashed and he's gone tumbling down the order there. And that was Dylan Maroney and him going side by side, and now Dylan Maroney's going to take that spot. P13. And then right behind is Mark Foley, a full 1.5 back. So Noah Hodgkinson can see a battle forming right behind him, and that is Jeff Koffold and John Katsuka. Who's going to take the place? It looks like John is here, and he gets ahead. Ooh. Good luck indeed. Good luck to my frames and my CPU here. Christopher Daniel, right behind JD Daniel. No relation. Sister teammates of the Pax Oceani blue and purple team are just walked away from the competition. They're a full 1.5 seconds up on on Jordan Groves, who's sitting in P3. Jacob Simmons right behind. And the one-time world champion Bush Baked Beans with Lambdog Duke Memorial Race Team, presented by them. JD Daniel with the fastest lap, the 155.1. Elliott Burton up 1 position over Joshua Grosso there. The curse worked on Trey. I'm going to say yes. I don't know what's happening with him. I don't know where he's at. We have Chris Lambeth, his teammate here, who is battling it out with Chris Chitterlin, or Charles Whedon. Going back to the start. Okay, it looked like they changed positions. Oh no, as Eric Koonsman has a spin and Cooper McCoy has a similar spin. Oh, and that took a couple people with it. I don't even know what you'd say on that one. Both kind of just popped out. I don't think I was supposed to handle 60 cars on the grid. It's gonna take a second for this to... Alright. Alright. We're sort of back, folks. Chris Schierling in P7. Elliot Burton in P6. He's 3/10 behind Joshua Grosso. Looks like he got a move done, Joshua Grosso, because he has overtaken Elliot Burton at some point. And there's the beans, and oh my gosh, that's a cursed livery. You could see in one angle what it looks like from the driver's helmet. Oof. Oh, I see what's happening here. We'll go over to Tyler Anderson, who's been up 5 positions. He's in P9. He's got Brian Berthuum in P8. Both had great starts. Just behind is Landon Loy and John Javecki, followed by Peter Flanner. Peter Flanner down 1 position at the start of this race. But a good grouping there. And that was Noah Hodgkinson and Mark Foley battling out for position. And he gets ahead of Mark Foley. And that was seen in the background before they got to the Schumacher S's in that corner. Up 9 positions off the start of this race. We'll pop back over to Tyler Anderson. I wonder if he's going to make a move here. What's the projected pit window? You know, I was going to say 11, lap 11, lap 12. That's usually a good start here for the undercut. People that will go for the overcut and just stay out there probably won't go till, you know, lap 15 or 16. Try to get some clean air. But interesting thing about the new relative that I added some additions, so we will see what the pit time was for a driver after they've gone into the pit lane. So you'll see if they are on their out lap, if they're in the pits, and if nothing's there in that little section right there, it's because, oh gosh, see a crash in the background there. And we'll take a look at it. That's Matt Weber. Oh, just a little spin. And he'll get that back out there. Only down 1 position, that's lost him. But look at the amount of gains ahead of him. Going over to Logan Brakey, who's got about 8/10, about 6/10 from Rodrigo Theory. And all drivers up here have been sporting some really good times. John Javecki now looks to make a move. Ooh. And that is a crash. You hate to see it, folks. We're on lap 5 here of this race, and some of the faster boys in the top 10 had an incident. We'll take a look at that in a second. John Javecki, in an avoiding action, and kind of like lost his battle to Landon Lloyd, but I think we're going to see it back here. I guess lap for lap, who's doing faster. I can't tell you. As far as Landon Lloyd goes and John Javecki go, Landon's best lap is actually 2/10 faster than John Javecki's. Now Elliot Burton and Peter Flanner, Draft Punk Racing, are now next to each other in P11 and 12. Most of the time, the pit window is around 17, 18 minutes for early pits. Okay, oh, no. Okay, we'll go back to this. What happened? Okay, that wasn't it. Alright, we'll go over to this crash so we can see what happened here. Matthew Baldwin, Pax Oceani Blue, just has a little bit of spin. Has nothing to do with Elliot Burton. Elliot Burton and Joshua Grosso are going side by side. And ooh. We'll take another look at that from Joshua Grosso's perspective. Not really his perspective, but, you know. They collide. Noah Hodgkinson also has a little bit of a tumble there. Oh. What's going on? Definitely a slowdown. Trying to stay out of the way there. But it counted it as an actual, like, racing, like a crash. Alright, well, Noah Hoskinson's back out there on it, and let's see what happens. He's recovered from whatever his slowdown penalty through cutting through the chicane, maybe not. I'm not entirely sure. He's got Chris Lambeth behind in P20. It looked like he was catching the back of Ethan Orr, but now I think they're just going to follow each other for a while, make the move somewhere else on track. Although it is a good spot. People have made it into this corner, but not at the moment. I don't think the speed's for him. Goes in this corner. Well, look at that. Does Chris Lambeth follow suit and try to make a move? Oh, well, looked like he had the move on the fight there, but had to back out and in space. So we're gonna chime over to Jacob Simmons, who's only 2/10 away from Jordan Groves. Chris Schitterling right there in the background in that green and off-white livery. And is he going to make a move on the sharp straight finish into turn 1? As you can clearly see the eggs, or I don't know if those are eggs on his helmet or beans, just blown up beans. Oh my. I saw the livery once, but when you see it multiple times, it's not the livery, it's the driver's helmet that's off-putting. And look how these guys are going. Like, just turn after turn, similar motions. Jacob Simmons is glued to the back of Jordan Groves. You can see they are 4 seconds away from P2. That's a big gap. Oh, no. Take a look over here. Nope, everything's looking good. Brian Berthium and Tyler Anderson. Tyler Anderson ahead. Looks to have a go there. We'll go back to Elliott Burton. Is he going to have a move down on Dylan Maroney? They are close. They're at P10 and 11 now, so they did gain 1 position here. So you can see Draft Punk Racing has pretty notable livery for the teammates. Not driving the same car, though, which is fine. And here we go. And a clean pass for Elliott Burton. Will his teammate have the same fate? Peter Flanner. We have Aaron Siciliano, who's in the back of that little pack that is formed. Just ahead of them was John Javecki in the Pax Oceani Purple. Is this a race for ants? Man. That camera guy is going to get fired. Go over to Ethan Orr, who's battling Jesse Canales. Just ahead in that purple anime livery. Or anime person on the side. And you can't mistake the beans. Right there in the background of Chris Lambert. He's been sitting in P18s, up 12 positions from the start of this race. So, what a Jesse Canales, Ethan Orr, basically everyone who's in the teens right now is doing phenomenal with their race. You got 13 for gain for P16, 10 for Ethan, 12 Chris, 12 behind is Tyler Kern, Charles Whedon's up 8, Rodrigo Theory behind him. Just such a crazy amount of positions gained. You'd think it's going to be all through crashes. I'm almost positive it's all through. You know, there's a lot of people that crashed in this race so far. Christopher Daniel. Is he faster than JD Daniel? No relation. Pax Oceani blue and purple. And that's Matt Weber in the background is just going to skip around for a few minutes. Who's faster? We're looking at the best times right now, lap for lap. It's hard to say. JD Daniels did a 155.366. Christopher Daniel did a 155.421. So just a tenth really separates these two. Makes you wonder. A lot of these drivers are out on the Porsche. Porsche seems to be doing really dominant right now. The top 10 is mostly Porsches. Going over to Aaron Siciliano, who 2/10 down. Now half a second down on Peter Flanner. Peter Flanner still has not made the move on Dylan Maroney. He's got to catch him right now. And we'll go over to a different part of the group here. We have drivers that are Michael O'Shins, who's up 11 positions. Steve McAllister up 10. Henry Ferguson up, a significant amount. And is just stuttering. And we're going to have to go over to something a little bit more stable. Yeah, that does not look good when you go towards the back of the field to look at some of these drivers that I would like to see, but it is just not loading in everything correctly, even though everything's as you do the best you can. It's unprecedented to see this amount of drivers, 60 drivers on a grid. I think when there's like 30, 40, I could still get away with looking at everything without there being stutters. Not even sure what the stutters are coming from. So we jump on board with Brian Berthuum, who's sitting P9 comfortably behind, and he's got Elliot Burton in front. Peter Flanner, his teammates, behind by 1.5 seconds. That's going to be some concern. I don't think Elliot Burton's going to try to back up this driver so that his teammate can try to get by him. I haven't seen it before. I think probably just going to draw on his own pace and try to get to him. Maybe go for an undercut. But similarly, Brian hasn't tried to make really some inroads here on Elliot Burton. He's just kind of holding his place here. Oh no. Alright, well, hopefully this works. We're going to go over to a crash that happened. We have Noah Hoskinson, who's down in P51. Oh, that's not great. He was having such a great go at it. Oh, he toes. That's unfortunate. Dylan Maroney, who was sitting in P13. We've seen that there a couple times. And he's off, but going back out there. Jameen Jen disappears off the screen, but some sort of incident occurred. Bryce Bomback, who's sitting in P33 at the time this happens. Nothing really happens there. Said it was an incident. Oh. Mark Foley inherits 11 with Dylan Maroney having that spin. Aaron Siciliano, who also had an incident, also loses a couple positions there. Unfortunate. Now going back over to the leaders here. Is Christopher Daniel going to try to win this race? He's been just glued to the driver, his sister teammate in Pax Oceani Blue, since the start. They've swept away 4.4 seconds to Jordan Groves, who's also in a Pax Oceani livery of purple, but is not part of one of the official teams, the 3 official teams that exist right now. If they try to field another team, I'm going to like it. Why not? Bully the pack with 4 separate teams of 1 dedication of Pax Oceani. Really spread the branding there as Jacob Simmons still close as ever to Jordan Groves. So is Christopher Chitterling. The battle at the top has not made any difference here. Trey Mistack, who's just ahead, he's in P45. So we can relatively say from where he started, he's up 10 positions from where he started in assignment, but really not making inroads. 13, 14, what the heck? Now it's just counting. Is he just making up time to people that have quit this race? that might be the case. We know one person didn't start, and that was Jeff Lubish. AJ Condola, 3 laps in. Michael Matthias, 6 laps in. Landon Lloyd. Some of these aren't just full-on quits. I should remind everybody, Landon Lloyd had a great race. He was in the top 10. He was doing strong. Had no real issues. I was trying to look and see. It just qualified as an accident, but what ended up happening is he just disconnected entirely. He didn't park the car. It's just a full-on, he's gone. So, packet loss or something or another, he's gone. It's unfortunate. Elliot Burton. Or not Elliot Burton, but Peter Flanner, the teammate of Elliot Burton, sitting in P10. Brian Berthium is ahead of him, and he's now closer than ever. It was a 1.5 second gap just 3 laps ago, and now he's got that down to 4/10. It's going to be interesting if he tries to go for the move now, or if he's going to pit. We haven't seen anyone pit just yet, besides Zaid Khan. If we go over to him, he's kind of in his own race right now. He's down 11 positions, but he's gone in the pit. He's on his outlap. He's the first to do so. Where he stands right now, he should predictably get at least the positions he had and then some. He's got no one really around him either. So if he just runs his race, should be interesting to see what happens. He's the first driver to go into the pit lane. We're on lap 14. And on board with Jacob Simmons. Maybe don't go on board. Maybe I'll stay away from the onboard. Really testing the limits of what can be done here. Henry Ferguson on the outside lets all 3 drivers basically comfortably go by. And there's some drivers that are down 2 laps to the leader. That's... Ooh. It just seems like anywhere I... Oh, man. It's a lot of stuttering. Henry Ferguson. P39. Spins out there on in the background, as you might have been able to take a look. Or see slightly when it skipped around that spin. I'm just going to go to Tyler Anderson here, who's not blinking like a maniac. Who's sitting comfortably right now. 1.4 seconds difference. To Chris Chidwing in front of him, 1.1. Elliot Burton's behind, 4.4. He's got a good race on his hands. Oh, they stopped skipping. That's good. I said that too soon. Maybe some people's internet isn't as strong as others. I don't know if that's the case. But Chris Chitterling is right alongside him. And we're just going to go to someone else that maybe not be skipping again. Aaron Siciliano, who's ahead, or is just behind Dylan Maroney, who is breaking down. Is the server breaking down, or am I breaking down? I feel like this is what my mental breakdown would look like, just skipping. as we go through, and Aaron Siciliano takes the position from Dylan Maroney. Not much of a fight there through the before the chicane, as they exit, and he's through. Look at that. No elbows out on that one, and you know, sometimes you got to say we take those. Back over to Chris Schitterling, and nothing is... See, the most impressive part to me in this race is we're on a... Everyone here has not pit, so they're probably thinking to go as long as they possibly can. No one's gone in the pit lane to serve their mandatory pit stop. I don't know about you, but I found that kind of confusing. You think someone would have done that move already. And interestingly enough, there's been no change to P1 through P4. Their positions are as standing at the start of this race. Chris Schitterling is one of the exceptions here who gained 2 positions at the start and has just been with him. Oh, you can't. I don't even know what to say. All right, let's look at Steve Sloan, who's sitting in P48 here. I'll try that again. Oh, I didn't have it. That's what that is. We missed his little incident. There he goes. He's back out on track in P48 here. He's got Matthew Baldwin, just 1.2 difference there. Really different is that a lot of drivers here, as far as you go further back, not really got good contention with some of the other... Oh, look at this. Jesse Canales, Chris Lambeth. We got a full pit. Where's that go shake down to? Jacob Simmons is in P3. Tyler Anderson is in P4. Peter Flanner in 5. And so Jordan Groves is the first of... Or is the... Yeah, Jordan Groves is pitted from P3. He's the first driver back out there. We'll see where he kind of shakes up when the other drivers go into pit. Christopher Daniel and JD Daniel, what are they going to do? They're coming up on that question. Man. That is rough. Both of them go into the pit lane. You almost don't even notice it because they're like ghosts. As we have a driver who, oh no, was Bryce Bomback. Making it difficult. Not sure how that happened. And there's Jacob Simmons and some others. Now, hold on a second. Not this guy. Jordan Groves was coming through the chicane. Where is he going to stack up? It's now into the final corner. JD Daniel is getting out. Christopher Daniel takes P1 out of the pit lane. You can see Jordan Groves there in the background and is not going to get the undercut from them. Jacob Simmons is going to get out ahead of Tyler Anderson. But crucially, is he ahead of Jordan Groves? And no, he is not. And you can see in the pit strategy the difference in time for Christopher Daniel and JD Daniel in the pit lane. Total time spent. 33.7, 34.7, a full second. That second was the gap between them. They were half a second away from each other. And so Jacob Simmons still holding court in P4. Jordan Groves not denied his P3. He keeps it together, but he's also crucially closer. And we have driver off there. PowerPoint presentation. I mean, I think this is something else. It's only capturing so much of the race and not everyone's race. My replay would be useless to anyone else. Possibly need to address that if we continue having these big grids for these races. And now, crucially, Chris Schitterling and Tyler Anderson, difference in time. Tyler did get the jump, maybe through the pit, but he's ahead of Chris Schitterling there. So now we have a real good fight here for possibly P4. Jacob Simmons hasn't made a move on Jordan Groves, but he hasn't been as close as he has since now. So we'll see. The ICJRV livery sponsored by CloudStrike. Joint racing venture. Oh, the Incident Crapshoot joint racing venture. Let's get a little closer look at this thing. It's by CloudStrike. Tyler Anderson and Cooper McCoy. Cooper McCoy, who's Alan Paris. That's the fastest lap with the 154.9. Look at him go. Cooper McCoy down in P53. Rough. He's having a decent race. I mean, if we're going to say anything, the sponsorship for CloudStrike is working because his car is not blinking. And also the one-time world champions Bush's Baked Beans with Lambdoc Duke Memorial Race Team presented by the one-time world champion Bush's Baked Beans with Lambdoc Duke Memorial Race Team. They need possibly upgrade their internet. I'm not sure. That's not the probably. It's probably not the internet. It's probably me. And none of these guys. Maybe Craig Carroll can throw a wrench in the sockets here. He's up into P32, up 13 positions. Tyler Rice ahead of him, up 17 positions. Maybe he'll help them out and make something happen. Tyler Anderson goes to the inside to defend against Chris Schitterling. Oh! Yikes! And through goes Chris Schitterling to take position over Tyler Anderson. Took avoiding action. Elliott Burton is going to get ahead as well, and he's going to take E5. And it is not without controversy as we have 5 laps to go. And there's Jacob Simmons in the back down into P8. You hate to see it, folks. And yikes! I don't know what was going on there, but Tyler Anderson says thank you. And moves ahead. Elliott Burton losing the spot. All in all, a decent haul for Elliott Burton, who has not lost or gained a position from this race. Swoops to the inside. Not fully alongside yet. And what came to him has gone away from him as Joshua Grosser passes by to take a position over Elliott Burton. Christopher Daniel, who was sitting P1, overtook his sister team in the pit lane, is now back in the pit. Maybe underfueled his car as he goes tumbling down the order. And he is back out. He did a 33.7 on his last pit stop, not needing to take a secondary pit stop. Has dropped down to P16 with Chris Lambeth in the background there with the Beans livery. That's unfortunate. I don't even know what to say about that one. And through goes Jordan Groves and Chris Schierling to take P2 and 3. Now it's quite difficult to tell, but I think we're looking at the AM class leader. I'm not quite sure. I think we'll get that settled out on the next race when we get all of the defined drivers that are in each class. So there's a lot of these drivers that are on the grid where I don't see their classification on the spreadsheet. So I don't know who's going to win the AM class. Cooper McCoy was in a good spot to win it, but he is no longer in contention. Craig Carroll's he's doing pretty good, but he's P39. I believe there's a lot more than drivers like Michael O'Shins is in P25, but Steve McAllister is also in the AM class. Trey Mistak is actually up to P19. Oh. Go to someone who's not blinking. Peter Flanner. Actually, going over that. Trey Mistak. I said he was in P18, but I was completely wrong. He's in P32. I don't even know what to say. Nothing that I'm doing is working correctly because this is such a massive difference in the grid. But P32 up 22 positions. He's got 6 seconds to catch up. 3 laps to go. I don't think he will, but I mean, overall, a decent recovery race for him. It's more than anything. Jesse Canales here on Ethan Orr. Is he going to make a move? No, he does not. But he is holding strong. 9 positions gained. What does that say on the back? Like I said something. Oh, I can't repeat that. And John Javecki up 4 positions. Tyler Anderson up 10. You know, P4, P5, and Peter Flanner not in the background. 4 tenths back. He's got Jacob Simmons to contend with. All these drivers really inheriting some good positions off of some incidents that occurred. That's a car. Yeah, you could say that. Oh, come on, guys. The closest battle on the grid right now is Jacob Simmons and Peter Flanner. They're both in Porsches. I mean, who's this really going to go down to? It's hard. I haven't seen a move done yet. But going over to the top, we have JD Daniel, who's 5.2 seconds up on Jordan Groves. Jordan Groves holds a 1.9 second gap to Chris Chitterling, who's just behind him there. And Tyler Anderson does have John Javecki, another close rival fight here. 2/10, 3/10, 4/10. It's changing a little bit, but between P4 and 5, P6 and 7, closest things we have on the grid that are still in a fight that is intense. With 2 laps to go, we might finally see some elbows out, going for moves, trying to gain a position. It looked like something happened into turn 1 with Jacob Simmons, driver ahead of him, driver, you know, that was something else, but we're on the final lap. Is it going to be Tyler Anderson and John Javecki who battle it out first, or is it going to be Jacob Simmons and Peter Flanner? I'm kind of thinking it's going to be Jacob Simmons and Peter Flanner. Oh, and further back we have Aaron Siciliano and Dylan Maroney who are battling it out here for P11, and it looks like Aaron Siciliano gets ahead. And the stuttering is real. Trying to draw cars is it is a feat. And that's cool that it shows you lap 8. Joshua Grosso pit on lap 8, and he's into P8. Overall, it's a really strong result for him. And we'll get over this. The race is going to go to JD Daniel, a Pax Oceani Blue, the Electric Boogaloo. That's what they wanted to be called, but name's changed. Jordan Groves picks up P2 with Chris Chitterling just behind, and Tyler Anderson stays ahead into P4 with John Javecki just behind. Peter Flanner, did something change there? No, he's going to stay ahead in P6. Jacob Simmons in P7. Joshua Grosso takes P8. Elliot Burton takes P9. Mark Foley takes P10. Andrew Siciliano stays ahead of Dylan Maroney for P11. Dylan Maroney to 12. Brian Berthium and P13. Dean Diltz in 14. Jeff Koffold in 15. Christopher Daniel in 16. Chris Lambeth and 16. Andrew Korstecki crossing line into 18. Ethan Orr in 19. Jesse Canals in 20. Tyler Kern in 21. Alex Authen in 21. 22. Rodrigo Theory in 23. Oh, this is going to be one of those broken ones. Charles Reed in 24. Ah, come on. Just going to give it a second. We'll see here what happens on the leaderboard. The results. I was up to the 20s, so we'll get to this. Tyler Kern in 21, Rodrigo Theory in 22, Alan Paris in 23, Logan Brakey in 24, Alex Authen in 25, Charles Reed in 26, Kyle Howe in 27, Eddie Smith in 28, Richard Sedver in 29, Zaid Khan in 30, Eric Stampin 31, Trey Mistak 32, Blake Patterson 33, Eric Rodriguez 34, Michael Kostek in 35, Eric Koonsman 36, Michael O'Shins in 37, Steve McAllister 38, Jason Lee in 39, John Katsuka in 40, and then Joseph Kennedy 41, Bryce Bromback in 42, Damon Jen in 43, Craig Carroll in 44, Henry Ferguson 45, Garen Hahn in 46, Matthew Baldwin 47, Matt Weber in 48. I think that's Mark Weber. Tyler Rice in 49, Steven Sloan in 50, Adam Morris in 51, Noah Hoskinson in 52, Cooper McCoy 53, Eric Palacio in 54, Landon Loy in 55, Michael Mathias in 56, Jesper Lubitsch in 57, AJ Candola in 58, Nicholas DeVille in 59, and Eric Nesbitt in 60. Now, this is out. These drivers did not finish this race. So I just wanted to clarify that for anyone who's, around still. See that we have Michael O'Shins here still out there. Now, we got a couple drivers in the cooldown room, so I'm going to bring them in one at a time. And so you guys can enjoy. JD Daniel, fantastic race. He led most of the race. And, what can you tell me about that pit stop? What happened there?
First of all, thanks to my teammates at Pax Oshani. Chris drove a heck of a race. He accidentally didn't have his pit limiter on when he exited the pits and got a penalty on exit. Otherwise, we would have had a 1-2-3. But just my teammates are just the best. That was awesome. Wasn't expecting this result, but yeah, that was a blast.
Yeah, fantastic. So, were you happy to inherit the that title back? I know you and Chris were not battling really that much, but you guys stayed close together. Only like 4 tenths off each other. Was there like good rapport when that happened?
Yeah, absolutely. We were both just trying to maintain a good pace and do a little fuel saving to extend the stint, and then after we did that, we were gonna try to battle to the end. And yeah, unfortunately, he had that small error, and I got first pretty easily. But also, shout out to Jordan who finished in second. He held everybody up as a rear gunner, and he drove a fantastic race to come home second in his series debut. So that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, great result for the Pax Oceani guys. I know. I think Green didn't do so well. Maybe we're involved in a couple incidences, but still a great result for the other groups.
Yeah, we came out in force for this season because you guys throw a heck of a series, heck of a league. So we're happy to be here.
Yeah, well, fantastic. Thank you for joining me, and I'll let you go so I can interview one of your teammates. Apparently, he's one of your teammates.
Listen. Mm-hmm. Yep, listen to our podcast, the Into the Paddock podcast on Spotify, where we talk about Rio Motorsport, including today's Formula One race at Spa.
Cool. Yeah. Hey, we'll plug it some other time too, throughout the season, maybe. Thanks for letting me know.
Yep. Thank you for having us.
All right. Oh, pulled you again. And Jordan Groves, your opening debut, Pax Oceani Purple, but like part of a new team. You haven't formed. Do you have another driver that you're going to be performing this league with?
No, I'm only going to be here part time. I'm, if you can tell by the accent, I'm from the UK. It's currently like gone 3 a.m, so I can only make like a handful of these. So
oh dang, solo, yeah, awesome
solo
though
for now, but not really solo when I've got a great bunch of teammates like the Pax Oceani guys. It was great to run with them. I don't normally drive these GT3s, and they've been really good at getting me up to speed. And yeah, it's great to get a 1-2. Shame what happened to Chris. It would have been great to get a 1-2-3, but regardless, I'm delighted to do this on debut.
Absolutely. I mean, what a fantastic result. You still kept everyone behind you, especially after the pit stops. You stayed within your limits there. You inherited a position, but ultimately you did great throughout the race. Didn't really let anyone by you. I mean, what a fantastic result in that regard as well.
Yeah, it was tricky holding everyone up. I knew after qualifying that I just didn't have the pace of JD or Chris, so I was in full Fernando Alonso mode, trying to keep everyone behind and do my bit for the team. But Jacob was hounding me all the way. I was really sweating trying to keep him behind, but I think he was just charging a couple brake zones too much, and that may be what caught him out in the end. But it's a shame because we were having a really good race until then, but man, I am sweating.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob Simmons is a strong race driver. Like we've seen it in last season, seasons prior. He's a fast guy, and you really really kept them behind, and that was really impressive. That's what all I really wanted to say to you is really what an impressive result. That sweat is well earned.
Yeah, it's intimidating looking behind and seeing the bean machine coming up, but yeah,
It
luckily
really is.
I just had enough to hold on, and yeah, really happy to complete the 1-2 for the Pax Oceani guys.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining me, and thanks for adding another Paxi Oceani to the grid. I think it's an intimidating factor that they're pulling off right now.
Yeah, hopefully the guys can keep it up throughout the rest of the season. Hopefully I can join for more. Yeah, we'll just wait and see.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for staying up this late just to race this race with a bunch of Americans.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thanks for the broadcast as well. You did great.
Yep, appreciate it. And I'll let you go now and pull in the last guy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris Shearling, how's it going?
Hello.
So I'm going to take it that you were the AM class winner here?
Oh, I'm offended. No, I was not the amateur class. I'm in the pro class. But
Oh,
you know
wait.
what?
Oh, wait, no, yeah, you were P3. I'm sorry. I was trying to figure out if the AM class would actually know whether or not. No, you did finish P3. I see it on my board right now. Between everything that happened in that race, I completely blocked out that you were battling it out with Jacob Simmons, Tyler Anderson. How did that feel for you, knowing that, like, were you worried about your pit stop, knowing that Tyler Anderson was so close?
Yeah, for sure. So Tyler was catching me, I think, the whole race, and he was pretty quick back there, slowly catching up to the pack that we had. And then I was on the fence, was I going to take tires or not? And I didn't think I was going to take tires, and at the last second, I decided to take lefts, which I don't think was a great idea. I think I lost about a second or a second and a half in the pits. So came out behind all those guys, and then it was fun from there on.
Yeah, I mean, what a fantastic result. Did you feel like a little bit of glee knowing that, other people's mistakes caught you up into the top spot, or in the top positions there, I should say P3?
Yeah, absolutely. And when you have a track with 60 racers, about half of them being new, you kind of are waiting for those mistakes to happen, and you're trying not to get caught up in them yourself. But thankfully, I didn't get caught up in many of those, and I'm very happy with this P3. I'm trying not to get used to it, though. I know there's some really, really fast drivers that had some bad luck today.
Yeah, so talk me through that. You were battling out with Jacob Simmons for a while. Did you feel like you could get by him at any point?
Probably not, no. So I think I was able to hang on to him. Obviously, in the draft, that makes it a little bit easier. We had a
Mhm.
pack of cars there.
Yeah, 4 or 5
And
cars.
yeah, and at that point, you're really just waiting for somebody to make a mistake. I'm not really going too easy. I'm going all out. I know Jacob and everybody else is a really top tier driver, so I'm just going all out, trying to keep it clean, waiting for any mistakes. And there weren't very many mistakes there, except I think Jacob on towards the end there, going into turn one.
Yeah, I mean, seeing that spin, you hate to see it. It was pretty rough. Is it? There's one thing that I would like to address is you eat an apple with 2 hands. How do you go about this?
Yeah, it's just I've done a lot of research and it's the most efficient way to eat an apple. So, people are gonna hate on it, but try it out. It might surprise you.
It might. Oh man, I don't know if I'm going to try it out, but I'll look in suspect on that. Thank you for joining me. I'm sorry about that earlier. It really was one of those things where I just completely spaced the last bit of that happening though. But you did finish P3. You finished ahead of Tyler Anderson, John Javecki, Peter Flanner, a bunch of fast guys that you defended your position as well. So congratulations on that.
Thanks, Jason. I appreciate it, and I no problem at all. I'm usually down there in mid pack, so I understand.
No, that's not what I meant by that. You finished strong. Thanks. Thanks for joining me, though.
Yeah, thanks, Jason.
All right, take care. All right, everybody, that's the end of the race. If you like those little chats, we are going to be doing that post-race breakdowns, interview the drivers that won P1, 2, and 3, and also the AM class. The AM class did not join me for this, but, you'll get that next time. This is a new addition to Season 10. Thank you for joining me on the first round, and then we'll be going into round 2 next week. Take care.